Genesis chapter 30 is a continuation of the saga of Jacob and his family. The chapter gives insight into the family dynamics and the social customs of the time. It primarily focuses on the birth of Jacob's sons, who would go on to be the founders of the 12 tribes of Israel, and a notable conflict between Jacob and his father-in-law, Laban. The chapter starts with Rachel's distress over her barrenness and inability to have children. Rachel, envious of her sister Leah for having children, asks Jacob to give her children, to which Jacob responds angrily. Following the practice of the time, Rachel offers her maidservant Bilhah to Jacob as a surrogate, resulting in the birth of 2 sons, Dan and Naphtali. Leah, seeing that she's stopped bearing children, follows suit by giving her maidservant Zilpah to Jacob. Zilpah gives birth to 2 sons, Gad and Asher. In an unusual event, Leah's son Reuben finds mandrakes, a plant often associated with fertility. Rachel asks for these mandrakes in exchange for a night with Jacob. Leah agrees, and as a result, Leah conceives again, bearing 2 more sons, Issachar and Zebulun, and a daughter, Dinah. Finally, God remembers Rachel, opens her womb, and she gives birth to a son named Joseph. Towards the end of the chapter, Jacob asks Laban to let him return to his own place with his wives and children. However, Laban, recognizing that he has been blessed because of Jacob, tries to persuade him to stay. Jacob and Laban strike an agreement where Jacob would continue to shepherd Laban's flock in return for all the speckled and spotted sheep and goats as his wages. Jacob, using selective breeding of the sheep, ends up increasing his wealth significantly. Now on to the Bible's study points. Rachel and Leah's desperation to bear children leads them to take matters into their own hands, using their maidservants as surrogates. This reflects human attempts to control or influence divine plans. Despite the discord and rivalry, God continues his sovereign plan, building the family line that would eventually become the 12 tribes of Israel. Both the women's rivalry and the agreement between Jacob and Laban feature manipulation and deception, showing how these actions often lead to strife. Yet, God works even through these flawed human actions to carry out his divine plans. Jacob's dealings with Laban show growth in his faith and wisdom. His method of increasing his wealth by selective breeding of the flock reveals his cleverness and ingenuity. This chapter highlights human struggles, deceit, manipulation, but most importantly, it underlines God's sovereignty, as he works his plan through human imperfections. As you study this chapter, consider how these themes might be relevant to your own life. Please like and subscribe. Bible Short Stories, signing off.